Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Today we will be presenting and demonstrating a basic web application set up using a three-tier architecture, which include a web server, a MySQL server, and a firewall server, all configured on three separate Rocky Linux VM. Before we begin, let me introduce my team members. First, we have Muhammad Iqmal bin Muhammad AZAHAR, followed by NAJDAN AQIL bin NASARUDEN. Next, Siti JUNAIRAH binti Muhammad, and myself, Alya BATRISYIA binti Muhammad PAZLI. So, let's get started.
So this is a concept of 3VM Linux architecture for a basic web application utilizing a web server, MySQL server, and firewall provide a structured and secure environment. As we know and as we learned during the classes, the web server handles user requests, the MySQL server manages the application database, and the firewall server protects against unauthorized access. This setup allows for scalable and secure deployment of a web application. So let's get started to see how this project works.
The initial screen shows a clean and simple visitor registration form, which requires input such as full name, unit or department, date of birth, and phone number. The form is clearly laid out and ready for user input. Here we see a standard Google search page. This might be a preliminary step where the user search for the registration system or navigate to the form via a browser. It reflects a typical browsing environment. The registration form has been completed with example data such as JUNAIRAH for the full name and a specific date of birth. The user has entered all required details and is prepared to submit the form. The final screen confirms that the registration was successful with a message saying registered successfully. This indicates that the system has accepted the data and the visitor is now registered. This video seems to be detailing the configuration or operational status of different server components, specifically a firewall server, web server, and database server. We can see a virtual machine management interface, likely showing the setting and status of several virtualized servers. The interface displays various types such as general, system, display, and storage, indicating detailed configuration options for each virtual machine. At the beginning of this segment, we are focused on the database server, which is currently running, showing its general system specification, like the operating system, memory, and acceleration setting. The network configuration details are also visible, specifically the Intel Pro 1000 MT desktop adapter. Here, the focus shifts to the web server, also indicated as running, implying that all three core server components, firewall, web, and database, are operational. This view confirms the active status of the web server within the virtualized environment. Towards the end of the segment, the database server is highlighted again, still showing the running status and system detail. This finds as full operation of the crucial database server with the simulated setup.
Now I will explain the firewall configuration. First of all, we use IPA. IPA used to check the IP address and network interface of the system. It's very important to know our VM's IP before we setting the rules. And then as we can see, this is the IP address. The IP address will list because before this we already configure it. So now we will proceed to the. If we are a first timer, we need to use sudo yum install firewall d because it will install firewall management tool for Rocky Linux, but we skip it because we already did it before. So we use sudo systemctl enable firewall d to enable the firewall service to start automatically on boot. Next, we use sudo systemctl start firewall d to start the firewall d services immediately. So this is an optional. The user also can use sudo systemctl status firewall d to check the current status of the firewall service. For example, to check the active or inactive of the firewall service. For me, it really helpful because it helps ensure the firewall is running properly. So now we are not going to use this because we skip this and because we already did before. So we just use to sudo cmd permanent at port 80. This is for open port 80 HTTP. It will permanently to allow web traffic to the web server. And next we just use the same command but we change at the number which 3306. 3306 is for my MySQL, open port for MySQL, and it will permanently to allow database connection. After complete all the configuration, we need to check it. We need to list all the current firewall rules, including open port and active zone, by use this command, which sudo firewall cmd list all. For me, it's very useful to verify if our rule will act correctly or not.
First of all, use command IPA to check network interface configuration. Next, use command systemctl enable httpd to check whether Apache is enabled or not. Next, use command systemctl start httpd. Use command firewall cmd reload to reload the firewall without restarting. Next, sudo vivar www.html index.php to make a coding for the main page. This is the coding of our main page. Next, sudo vivar slash. Next is sudo vivar www.html-submit .php to handle form submission. And then next, use command ls var html.php to see all php lists. Okay, that's all.
Use command IPA to check IP address. After that, use the command sudo dnf install MariaDB. Because we have already downloaded MariaDB, we will skip this part. Now enable MariaDB and start MariaDB. Use MySQL uroot p to enter MariaDB. And then enter the password. Enter use visitor DB to enter the visitor DB, and then select star from visitor. Now as you can see, there is a table for visitor. Now open CMD and use the command ssh root IP firewall and enter the password to get into the firewall root. After that, use the same command but use the IP address of the web server and enter the password for the web server. Lastly, use the command enter the VM database IP to enter the root database. Root at database.
In this project, we successfully designed and implemented a basic 3-tier web application architecture using 3 Rocky Linux virtual machines, which WebServer, MySQL server, and Firewall server. This operation of concern ensure better scalability, manageability, and security. The project provided hands-on experience with server configuration, network segmentation, and basic firewall rules.